The remembrance of AETHEL'NAR in Aetherion Sky Transmission. Welcome to Aetherion Sky. We are not here to tell you a story. We are here to help you remember forgotten truths. This is not a call to belief. This is not a declaration. This is an invitation. An invitation to think, remember, and question. If you are ready, we now draw back the veil. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself this question. You wake up one morning and writing already exists. Calendars already exist. City planning already exists. Law already exists. So the question is simple. Where were they yesterday? Today we call them the Sumerians. But the issue is not merely the name of a civilization. The issue is the strange acceleration we witness at the dawn of history. Between the fertile lands of the Tigris and Euphrates, Uruk rises, Ur rises, Nippur rises. And at the center of every city stands the same signature. Massive structures rising step by step. Ziggurats. A ziggurat, was it merely a temple? Or was it the city's administrative center, record center, calendar center, observation center? Ziggurats define the character of Mesopotamian cities. They rise as tiered towers, and the entire system of life is organized around them. Now let us set our first hook. If a society builds something solely for worship, does it place it at the very center of the city, at the core of everything? Or is that structure in fact the brain of the city? Throughout history, civilizations develop gradually. Simple tools become complex. Small communities grow into organized states. But in Sumer, the rhythm changes. Everything seems to happen too quickly. Mainstream history explains this through agriculture, trade, population growth, cultural accumulation. These explanations are powerful, yet a question remains in the mind. How does so much system appear in so little time? Now let us ask a sharper question. If there is an acceleration, there must also be a direction. Who drew that direction? Then something even stranger appears, the Sumerian language. Sumerian does not resemble the surrounding Semitic languages. Today, many linguists classify it as an isolated language, a language that cannot be clearly linked to any known family. Pause and consider. A fully formed civilization, yet its language stands apart. This alone proves nothing, but it forces us to ask, where did these people come from? Or more sharply, are we missing a portion of the beginning? And here comes the strangest part. We are not the first to ask this question. The Sumerians themselves asked it. In their own texts, they describe their civilization as the continuation of an older order. And here, a single word enters the stage. Anunnaki. In the tablets, the Anunnaki are called gods. But these gods are not abstract beings. They eat, they drink, they argue, they make decisions, they make mistakes. In other words, they behave like humans. Now ask yourself this question sincerely. If, thousands of years ago, you encountered a power far more advanced than yourself, what would you call it? A teacher? A king? Or a god? This question has ignited modern minds as well. Some researchers and writers began rereading the Sumerian tablets. Could the Anunnaki have been not a myth, but visitors? The idea spread. Books were written. Documentaries were produced. But the academic world responded firmly. Ancient texts are not scientific reports. Symbolic language, if read literally, leads to error. This objection is valid. And yet, the story does not end. Why? Because it touches something far deeper, something ancient, embedded within the human psyche. The feeling that we were not alone in the beginning. We make no claims here. We declare no proof. We simply place the pieces on the table. Sumer's strange acceleration, the isolation of its language, the centrality of the ziggurats, the presence of the Anunnaki in the tablets, and the alternate readings that surround them. Then we leave you with the question, what does all of this mean? A coincidence? An interpretation? Or did humanity, at some point in its distant past, experience a true intervention that later evolved into the language of gods? Now the strongest hook of all. If this were merely a myth, why does it contain so much order, hierarchy, system, and center? And the final question, was civilization something that humans simply discovered, or does it sometimes appear as if it were delivered? This episode has only opened the door. In the next chapter, we place the tablets, the symbols, the structures, and the shared framework of these narratives under the lens. And yes, the polar records, certain expeditions, and the reports of Admiral Byrd will be examined in a dedicated future episode. Everything has its time. Now we leave you with one last question. Did the Sumerians truly build everything alone? Or are we still struggling to understand certain layers of our own past? But wait, the story does not end here. What made Sumer different was not only speed, it was consistency. Ziggurats were not built at random. They were aligned with celestial movements, synchronized with calendars, and built upon precise knowledge of the sky. Measuring time, predicting seasons, planning harvests, all of it requires astronomical understanding. If a civilization places the sky at the center of everything, is it only watching the land or something far greater? And then there is the language. Sumerian stands alone. It belongs to no family. When people migrate, languages mix. But here, it feels as if something simply appeared, which raises an uncomfortable question. Was Sumer truly the beginning, or was it the continuation of something older? The Anunnaki are not described as infinite gods. They plan, they decide, they fail. They require resources. They resemble not deities, but administrators of an advanced system. And this pattern repeats across the world. Egypt's god kings, Mesoamerica's sky teachers, India's divas, Central Asia's ancestors from the heavens. Different names, the same pattern. If knowledge once appeared suddenly, then perhaps history is only the final chapter written by the survivors. And perhaps the most disturbing thought of all is this: parts of our past were not lost, they were intentionally forgotten. This chapter does not answer the question, it leaves one behind. Was civilization truly discovered, or was it delivered? Thank you for watching. The sky is only the beginning.